There's that better. Oh, there we go. Wow. Man, you get everything set up and it's just like everything goes wrong. Yes, this is Mission Commander Brandon. I am so sorry for all the starts and stops. It's just one thing after another. Hey, but that happens. And if you are like me and you just go with the flow. So, anyway, that being said, let's get into the mission briefing today. And hopefully, if you have any questions, just go ahead and put them in the chat. Love to have you ask them, and love to answer them.
Every long haul mission has stretches where the entire bridge feels quiet. The helm doesn't need to alter course. Navigation keeps the heading steady. Weapons and defense, well, it reads no hostile targets. Communications picks up nothing but background noise or basically the occasional ship to ship chatter. Science station finds no anomalies. Engineering monitors the ship's core with no spikes, no dips, just a stable hum. And even the Khan, the ship's commander, well, he has nothing to do but enter a routine log entry. And in that kind of silence, everyone feels the subtle pull to basically disengage, to loosen their grip on what's happening around them, basically to slide into autopilot, and or to assume that if nothing on the bridge is changing, then nothing meaningful is happening at all. But seasoned crews know a truth that rookies often miss. A quiet bridge doesn't mean an inactive mission. A calm sector doesn't mean the Supreme Commander has stepped away. Stillness doesn't mean stagnation. In fact, it often in these quiet stretches that the most important work begins, not outside the ship, but inside it. In the quiet sectors or even in space dock, the Supreme Commander often shifts his focus to your internal systems, areas of your spirit and character that don't show up on external readouts but determine whether you can withstand the weight of the missions ahead. And this is what Mission Control calls internal system upgrades. And these upgrades don't happen in the middle of battle. That would be detrimental. They happen in the calm, basically in the steady, in the uneventful, definitely in the waiting. The operations commander doesn't waste the silence. Mission Control isn't idle during the stillness. They use it to reinforce your endurance, strengthen your resolve, calibrate your obedience, and stabilize the systems that will carry you through deep space assignments, long haul seasons, and spiritual turbulence you have yet encounter. It's just like starships. When the galaxy is calm, engineering gets the chance to do the work that holds everything together when the turbulence begins again. And your spiritual life, well, it works exactly the same way. There are seasons where you pray, serve, obey, and remain faithful, and yet nothing external shifts. No breakthroughs, no new directions, no visible results. But inside, the Supreme Commander is reinforcing systems you don't even realize need strengthening. It is a slow, steady, silent process, but it's strategic. This is the heart of today's briefing. Operation 5 Long Haul is about understanding what God is doing in the quiet sectors, how the Supreme Commander strengthens your inner systems when the external shows no change. But before we can understand how these internal system upgrades form within us, we have to confront the first major challenge of any waiting season: resisting the instinct to disengage when the grind feels endless. And this is where our first waypoint leads us. So, when a mission drags into long stretches of quiet, the first thing that takes damage isn't the hull, it's your resolve. The silence starts whispering doubts. The routine makes you question whether anything is going to actually move the mission forward. And that's exactly when the Supreme Commander sends a direct reminder through Paul: and let us not grow weary of doing good, for in due season we will reap if we do not give up. That's not just engagement, that's instruction. It's the commander saying, don't drift, don't power down, don't walk away from the console just because the readout hasn't changed yet. The harvest is already in motion, and even if your sensors can't detect it, and the Supreme Commander? reinforces this again in another transmission meant exactly for crew members stuck in the grind. And we find it in 2 Corinthians 4:16, where he says, "So we do not lose heart. Though our outer self is wasting away, our inner self is being renewed day by day." That's an internal systems upgrade in its purest form. You feel tired on the outside, but the commander is strengthening the systems no one else can see. Day by day, steadily, quietly, your core is being rebuilt for greater missions ahead. And then we have Hebrews 10:8, where it gives us another angle that fits the long haul perfectly. For you have need of endurance, so that when you have done the will of God, you may receive what is promised. Endurance isn't optional out here. It's not a bonus stat. It's something you need because the promise on the other side requires a vision of you that only the grind can build. The waiting, the repetition, the long stretches of nothing. That's the training ground where endurance takes shape. So, if Waypoint teaches us this, that the grind isn't pointless, it is shaping you, it is strengthening you, it is definitely preparing you. And even when the external world looks unchanged, the Supreme Commander is renewing your internal systems day by day, right? That brings up a deeper question, doesn't it? If God tells us not to disengage from the grind, what exactly is He building inside us during these slow, quiet seasons? What is the real purpose of this repeating cycle of faithfulness with no visible return? And that takes us to waypoint 2. Like I said, if waypoint 1 reminds us not to disengage during the grind, waypoint 2 shows us why the grind exists in the first place. Because the truth is, friends and crew members, long haul missions don't just test you, they train you. Funny enough, if you think about it, if you've been on ships or been on bases, sometimes when there's really nothing going on, there's some form of training going on. And why? In that long haul of just peace and quiet, there is building going on. They are building something in you that cannot be downloaded, shortcut, or basically speed run. And the Supreme Commander makes this clear in Hebrews 12:11, where he says, "For the moment all discipline seems painful rather than pleasant, but later it yields the peaceful fruit of righteousness to those who have been trained by it." Hence why quiet time means training time. That line hits, and it should hit every crew member who's ever felt the burn of repetition or the strain of staying faithful with no applause. Discipline feels painful in the moment. Obedience feels costly in the moment. Faithfulness feels heavy in the moment. But the commander sees beyond the moment. He sees beyond that point. He sees the later, the peace, the stability, the character, the clarity that only comes to those who stay in the training instead of ejecting from it or outright refusing it. And this is where internal system upgrades really start to come into view. It's not the flashy upgrades, it's the quiet ones. The ones that make you steadier under pressure. The ones that let you hear mission control in the chaos. The ones that give you the strength to stand when the next sector or the next mission gets turbulent. And to reinforce this truth, the operations commander gives us another transmission that connects perfectly to the idea of being shaped by the grind. We find it in Romans 5:3-5, where he says, "Not only that, but we rejoice in our sufferings, knowing that suffering produces endurance. And endurance produces character, and character produces hope. And hope does not put us to shame, because God's love has been poured into our hearts through the Holy Spirit, who has been given to us." That whole upgrade chain right there, endurance, character, hope, all forged through experiences we would never desperately need. So, in other words, you don't get peace through training. Let me rephrase that because I misthought that one. You don't get peace without training. You don't get strength without resistance. And you definitely don't get maturity without pressure. Think about that too. If puberty, a lot of pressure, and yet you start getting maturity out of that. Funny enough. And then there are some of us that are still immature in many aspects, even though we're always under And here's the other thing. You really don't get any stability without staying in the grind long enough for the updates to take root. Hebrew 12:11 isn't describing punishment. It's describing preparation. The Supreme Commander uses repetitive seasons, silent stretches, and long haul routines to install systems inside you that can withstand missions that you haven't been briefed on yet. And that's why this waypoint matters. Discipline isn't God being hard on you. Quite the contrary, it's God preparing you. He's not delaying your mission, He's strengthening the crew member who will carry it. But if discipline is shaping your endurance and the grind is strengthening your character, there is still one more layer to this long haul season because the Supreme Commander doesn't just train you through the waiting, he empowers you in it. And that reality really launches us straight into Waypoint 3. So the grind builds endurance and discipline forms stability. We've already discussed that. Waypoint 3 shows us that the Supreme Commander does what the Supreme Commander does while we wait. Remember, waiting in the kingdom is not passive drift. It isn't idling at the edge of a dead sector, really. It's not the spiritual equivalent of floating in space until mission control finally sends new coordinates. Waiting is an active posture, really. Hands still on the controls, heart still tuned to the commander's voice, eyes searching the stars for his signal. And this is why the commander gives us one of the most mission-defining transmissions in all of Scripture. In the form of Isaiah 40:31, where it declares, "But they who wait for the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint." Now, many of you thinking this is poetic filter because Isaiah, in many of these moments, is written in a poetic form. But it isn't a poetic filter. It's a system grade promise. When you wait on the Supreme Commander, you don't lose strength, you will gain it. Your spiritual engines don't drain, they recharge. Your emotional systems don't flicker, they stabilize. Your thrust doesn't weaken, it renews. In these type of missions, this verse is the difference between burnout and breakthrough. And that's reinforced by another transmission that fits perfectly with the idea of strength being restored while movement is paused. And we see this in Psalm 27:14, where it reminds us, "Lord, be strong and let your heart take courage. Wait for the Lord." The commander repeats the call to wait because he knows how difficult this part of the mission is. He also knows what's forming inside you during this waiting. And remember, it's courage, stability, strength, and a resilience that cannot be shaken by the turbulence ahead. Waiting is where your spirit catches up to the future God is preparing. Waiting is where your trust rebuilds, where your vision clears, where your faith stops being theoretical and becomes very practical. This waypoint, it shows us that the Supreme Commander doesn't just sustain you in the silence, he strengthens you for what's ahead. And when that renewed strength settles into your system, the question really becomes simple. What do you do with it? And that's the focus of Waypoint 4. So by the time we've reached this waypoint, something's undeniable. The Supreme Commander isn't asking for dramatic heroics. He's asking for steady, faithful consistency. Because long-haul missions aren't won in the big moments. They're won in the quiet, daily decisions that shape who you're becoming. And that's why Jesus, our operations commander, gives us the core instruction in Luke 16:10. One who is faithful in very little is also faithful in much. One who is dishonest in very little is also dishonest in much. Remember what I said many sermons ago, many mission briefings ago, many seasons ago, and basically many operations. I told you Luke 16:12 comes into play. What he's telling us, that greatness in the kingdom doesn't begin with grand assignments. It begins with the small things, small obediences, small disciplines, small choices that no one else ever sees. That's where internal system upgrades start to take root. It's the spiritual equivalent of a crew member checking the same gauges every morning, running the same diagnostics, staying sharp in the repetition so that when the pressure spikes or the mission intensifies, their instincts are already calibrated. You don't rise to the level of your calling, you fall to the level of your training. And training happens in the small stuff. The reinforcing transmission from scripture comes through Proverbs 4:26, where we are all told, "Ponder the path of your feet, then all your ways will be sure." Wow. Ponder the path of your feet, then all your ways will be sure. The Supreme Commander is saying, slow down. Pay attention to the steps you're taking daily. The consistency of your small steps determine the stability of your entire mission trajectory. When you watch the path of your feet, the decisions, you end up walking with clarity and strength when the bigger steps arrive. This is the full essence of internal system upgrades. Leaps, but steady formation, not dramatic moments like we all are hoping for. It's the faithful ones, really. This is not about emotional highs, but disciplined habits. There are these are the actions that strengthen your spirit, purify your motives, sharpen your hearing, definitely, and tune your life to the frequency of mission control. And once you embrace that, once you see the rhythm of small, steady faithfulness, you're ready for something critical, translating consistency into tangible practice for the week ahead, which is where your mission checklist comes in handy. So, by the time you reach this point in the briefing, the pattern becomes clear. The Supreme Commander builds strength through consistency and not spectacle. Basically, here's what I'm saying: in the mundane and not the miracles that he does, though very infrequently, he more is important and focused on the consistency. So, what does this have to do with this week's assignment? Well, this week's assignment is about leveling up through intensity or waiting for some cinematic breakthrough. Choosing small, steady actions that reinforce the systems he's been upgrading inside you. Now, understand, these are not random tasks. They are targeted calls to align your heart, mind, and spirit with the training you've received in this mission. Now, here's your checklist for the week. Make sure you complete at least 4. First of all, you want to have your daily scripture sync. Recalibrate your core. Take one chapter of scripture each day and note one sentence that really stood out, or one verse that stood out, or one whole or if it's the whole chapter, definitely the whole chapter, but look at how it stood out. This is how you keep navigation aligned with mission control. And the second is the endurance log. You got to track the grind. Identify one moment each day where you're tempted to just disengage, but record it. These moments reveal where system upgrades are taking hold. Number 3, we're talking about the discipline boost. We need to strengthen one system. Choose a single daily scripture practice, whether it be scripture reading, generosity, or even gratitude. Puts equals big upgrades. Operates without broadcast. So one thing I like about a lot of Power Up Church is we don't want to broadcast so that people go, oh, hey, that, you're doing great. Now, we're not here for the affirmation of what we're doing it because for ourselves. It's for ourselves with God. We don't have to go, oh, well, because that's between us and God. We need one meaningful act of service. Sees it. And believe me, it feels a little bit more important that way than if you just broadcast your act of service globally. The 5th thing I want to talk about is thrust renewal. Sit in stillness. Spend 5 minutes in silence waiting before God day. Listen. This is where Isaiah 40:31 becomes reality. And finally, hold the line. Resist it. Where pilot, make one intentional decision that keeps you engaged. You've run with something. The grind isn't draining you the way some upgrades are taking root. And that really for the final transmission of today's mission briefing. The moment we find the let's bring this home in the brief. Today's from every we've been walked through. The quiet seasons of your life are not empty. Where nothing seems to move, where the bridge stays calm, and where the routines commit best work. In the grind, use discipline, he shapes who you're becoming. In the waiting, he renews. And in the small, consistent steps, distance is key under pressure. None of this feels dramatic while it's happening. I can definitely tell you it's not dramatic. And aspects, many internal systems really find something. You're not reacting the way you used to. You're not breaking under weight, drifting as easily. You're standing with a strength that doesn't come from you, him. Commander isn't preparing you for where you're going. And the work he's doing now, exactly what you'll need to navigate the next set of coordinates he'll reveal. So as the bridge today, remember this. You're not God. You're being strengthened. The commander sees what you're becoming. Mission control. And when the next phase arrives, you'll be ready. These silence helped forge a crew member who can go for the war. Hall isn't a delay. It's a transformation.
Stuttering. I don't know what happened this time, but you can't have a good stream without something going wrong. So I guess we've had that. Anyway, let's see. Abu-San basically started here. All right. Well, I know what to do next. So let's see. That's where we're at now. So yeah, we'll look into what in the heck is going on.
Sure. Here we go! Don't mess with it.
Lots of eyeing there. So yeah, Kawahara, we're taking some time to get back into the swing of things. He basically, as many of you know, had some family emergency to take care of, so he will be back next week, and he'll also be back Wednesday to take care of our singles study group. So, if you're single and need just a little help and what a good relationship is, go for that. Like I said, that's Wednesday, be 8 p.m. from Mountain Standard Time. Yeah, run, little guy.
Hear that? Gonna find you!
Incoming! We did it!
The spray was bad. Alright. Let's do what we always do and have fun doing. The heck out of this. Now, I was watching, it's just more funky. It's a little more. Here's what gets me. It's like here in this game, there's like a ton of stuff. But, you know, a ton of maps and stuff like that, but very limited
Incoming!
on character development. But in Outer Worlds 2, it's abundant character development, only 2 maps, so I think Private Division and Obsidian kind of went, well, it was too difficult the last time. We'll dumb it down. Really, guys? Is it a Magnum? Yes, it is. But what I find fascinating about the new one is, from my understanding, it is short. Stupidly short. Which I guess is okay in many aspects, but especially when you're paying how much for games nowadays, it's like that. It's just insane. All right, there we go. Yes, we do keep. Our son doesn't taking care of all this, but yeah, I mean, it's like. But in the new game, it's like you can break down a lot more stuff. You can get a lot more stuff out of it. And that you can actually, let's see, corrosion, we have the unrated. Okay, we have all the modifications we really need. So we're pretty much stoked and ready to go.
It's not the best choice. It's Macer's choice.
Alright. Let's see here. Huh, yeah, I forgot to do that. Oh well. Everything we need. I understand that there's several builds in the second game that are quite new and unique. Next one. Alright. That's the next one. Alright, so got all that taken care of. Better than nature, really? So that's that, and that's where we're gonna go after we take care of delivering the message.
Wow, you got that?
Yeah, it's got that. That's what we don't need. Let's see. There you go. Removed it, whacked it with a wrench a few times. That'll learn it. Yeah, it learned it. Apparently exploded too. Oh well. That's what you get when you tinker with stuff you don't understand. Oh. So yeah. That's something about that. Oh, somebody said, "Oh, there's a lot of, you're doing the cheating." It's like that's what this whole time is about. Is we're talking about God mode, Twitter and so on. Why do we have suffering? Why do we have this? It's like, I'll show you why we do this. Look, we're breezing through the game. Do you think that's fun? I mean, do you enjoy going through and just having everything handed to you on a silver platter? No difficulties, no nothing. And then we'll come back and play the same games after we got so used to doing this and see how much we fare better. And I definitely can tell you, we don't. In fact, we do worse. So, just a hint at what's coming up next year.
Move along, stranger. We don't want any trouble. I don't know you.
I don't know.
Whatever
either.
you're looking for, it ain't here. Move along. Armed strangers wandering into my camp for one. Some of my camp wandering out for another. You want to try standing outside in the heat, keeping your sights open for the next Marauder raid? No, I'm sorry. That was unworthy of me. Lady named Zoe went missing some nights ago. Just up and vanished without a trace. Now I'm pacing around wondering if Marauders got to her. It's not like Zoe to go wandering. Figured she might be out scavenging, but that ain't exactly her talent. Can't imagine where she's gone. Vale's a wide place. She could be anywhere. Appreciate it. Honest.
Okay.
Over in the hothouse, tending crop.
All right. And right now, we're not going to care about.
Moving.
Yes. All that stuff and how terrible. What am I teaching our valuable people? That RPGs are not real? I mean, games are not real? Not real life people.
On my way.
You hungry? We got canid ribs, canid flank, canid snout, too.
Not much of a
Something I
snout
can help
person.
you with? You mean Zoe? Yeah, we were pretty close. Not like her to go loping off. Zoe and I were gonna watch the serials, as is our custom. She never turned up. I looked around, but she was nowhere to be found. You sound like some type of corporate fixer asking all these questions. Can't say I recall Zoe ever acting strange. Well, except for her habit of writing things down on scraps of paper. She called it journaling, but I think it's just plain odd.
Journaling sounds like what you guys about.
Zoe was always obsessed with this serial, Masked Marketeer. A scion of Byzantium turns to banditry and teaches his marauder companions the wisdom of free market economics.
Wow.
Shame she up and vanished when she did. I had a surprise lined up for her. The other day, I got my hands on a genuine copy of the latest Masked Marketeer. I was gonna surprise Zoe with it, but she was gone the next day.
Good.
Hey, I got time. Fresh off the limb, and that includes canid meat.
I don't think I need the meat, thank you very much. Leave that for later. Anyway, you don't need to do anything.
Sure, on my way.
That's what I love about games. It's like you do everything you really would.
On my way.
Alright, so let's see. Well, journaling seems to be. Well, that's kind of theft. Oh, wait a minute, what we're doing. And he has space. Isn't that true? But anyway, yeah. Alright.
I'm going.
Okay, yeah, just a few minutes to get through here. Because there's always something coming.
In a jiff.
There we go. It's a bit easier. And you go into certain areas like the ammo is all over the place yet. Let's see. That's the only thing. Yeah, trust me, I understand that. let's find out if she found a way. And if you've watched this or seen people play this, I think you know the answer to that. Sounds like a little bit anti-Cleo-ish.
Oh gosh, it's so pretty.
All right. Hold on for a second. Excuse me. Let's talk to Miss McDivitt here.
If you're hungry, there's meat turning on the spit outside. If you're bearing illness, find a place to lay your head down and I'll fetch you a poultice. Whatever your troubles with Edgewater, leave them at the gates and be welcomed here. Any questions, dear? I have been called that, among other things. Green Thumb, grandmother, the strange old lady who keeps flowers. But yes, Adelaide will do just fine.
Excuse me, Miss McDevitt? Sorry, it's just... You got such pretty trees in here.
Why, thank you. You're Robert's girl, aren't you? I remember when you were but a sprout. Thomas speaks of you often. Are you staying long? You should try some of my tobaccorn tea. I brew it in an old spittoon, but it's been cleaned. No, dear. The garden belongs to us all. Life is the gift of the universe, and the universe yields its bounty equally, absent of prejudice. The soil around the Vale went sour years ago, but I found a way to sweeten it back up. The secret recipe is a little bit of elbow grease, a dash of love, and a heaping pile of special fertilizer. A home for anyone who's ever turned their backs on Edgewater. A home for those of us with nowhere left to go and nothing to lose. So, like the spores of the puffball, cast on the wind and alighting on fresh soil, we put down new roots. It is an unpleasant story, dear. But the short of it is that sometimes one
Some of
wakes
us are
up and
like that, right?
realizes the place that was once her home for much of her life has changed. The home in which we spent our lives has left us behind, and so we must move on. And that is as much as I will say on the subject.
Yeah.
Reed Thompson, you here on behalf of that cold-eyed reptile?
Uh-oh.
Let's hear it. What's Reed's idea of peace, then? Make amends. Spare me. Only thing Reed knows how to make is a mess. Like everything else that comes out of Edgewater, that peace offering is canned. I and my own are living just fine out here by ourselves. He would do such a thing. The question is, why would you agree to his plans? Cannery's got a regulator. You want ship parts, you ought to rip them out of the cannery's guts and leave us be. If you're going down to the plant, you should divert power away from Edgewater and toward our end of the grid. Think about it. You'd be liberating an entire town from a lifetime of service to that odious cannery. Seems the sort of thing a hero would do. You've seen that miserable excuse for a town with your own lamps. Hollowed out workers laboring their lives away at the cannery, living off whatever scraps Spacer's choice throws them. You know that's true, don't you, Ms. Holcomb? Your father died of overwork. His heart gave out.
He was tired all the time, sure, but he was old, ma'am, and he raised me all by his lonesome.
Look what they did to this child. Lost her family to the company, and still she defends them. Life in Edgewater grinds to a halt. The cannery shuts down, workers desert in droves, and our own little camp
we do this.
grows and thrives. You bring power to Reed's town and you'll be killing us. Reed knows it. He's counting on it. I trust you will listen to your conscience.
Usually, but I have a better plan.
Oh, that's Thomas. He used to follow me around before he left the cannery.
Oh, didn't see you there. I was,
No.
well, I was just occupying myself with a little engineering. Whoa, Miss Parvati. Hey, you're, what, how are you? Hi, hello.
Are you, are things safe out here? How you keeping?
Great, just great. I've been trying to keep stuff running, just like you. Only I'm not so... Wait, they didn't kick you out, did they?
Oh gosh, no, I'm just along with this fella here.
Are you from town? I mean, you don't exactly look like you're from town.
Do I look like from town? No.
Sorry, I just wasn't sure if you were from town or if you were one of us. Something's been chewing at me, you see.
Let's find out.
Fact is, I've been, well, lying. To everybody here. Camp thinks I'm a mechanical genius, but I couldn't fix a busted chair.
All right.
I'll take all the help I can get. I set my mind to learning the craft of the engineer, you see. I want to make something of myself.
Very noble.
You ever heard of the Young Spacer's Guide to Mechanical Engineering? Comes in a set of 3. If I had my hands on one of those data pads, I could teach myself the ins and outs.
Those are good. My dad kept a copy with him when he was working in the cannery.
I know the old community center kept a copy. Should find another one back in town. If you could find me even one of those pads, I'd be greatly obliged.
No, we know we need to go back.
No kidding! Really? Well, which one? Ain't that just ironical? If I'd worked a little longer back at the cannery, I might have found this myself. I appreciate you going through all that trouble. In fact, I put aside something special, on the off chance that somebody'd search out those data pads for me. Sure, I'd be glad
There we
to take
go.
them off your hands.
All right. Well, we'll take care of that. Now let's take care of this. That's hers. So, let's see. Let's look at installing a mod. Add corrosion. Let's see. Add mod here. That is definitely a needed one. Right, so there's that. Oh, we've got that one. That one. Actually, I'm not big on the corrosion. Oh, did I screw up again? Let's see. Plasma. Oh, jeez. Yeah, that's called looking, which sometimes it's hard for me to do. All right. So let's see. Oh, we got to go back to the. Gotta find Zoe. Find 3 bones. Take care of that. Oh yeah, that's right. We gotta go and do this. So let's take a break here. Give me a few moments to do a few things, and then we'll get back into hunting for Zoe, getting those journals, and taking care of the geothermal. And we do have a plan for that. If some of you have seen what happens there, well, you know what we're planning to. But if you don't, hey, stick around and we'll go right into it. to it. Our next quest is, gotta get Gotta get that guy. Oh. Actually, I think we need that around first.
Sure.
There's always one. Ah, there you are. As you can tell, I like the headshot. It makes life a lot easier. All right.
Be right there.
I know. My companion's not doing much. Oh,
Okay, keep him quiet.
and he went poof. Hey, shit. Be still, my heart. Yuck. How do we do? Ugh. Of course. It's like some of these things, like, it's all junk, and then you get. There we go. Wrong button. As per
Okay,
usual.
moving out.
Oh, a 2 for 1. I like that. Somebody's probably saying, this is why we can't have nice things. Well, ran into that one.
Don't mess with him.
Well, so much for silent. Bro had nothing on. Well,
Heading
that
back.
does all that.
I don't know anybody who ever came out this far.
And lived to tell the tale. I can't. That's impressive. But here's our. Of course.
Stand down to the river! Always wanted to say that.
Who's they?
Toasty.
Ah, no encore?
No, madam, because you're not Dennis Moore.
Wow, you crossed them all off, like some sort of heroic accountant running down a list. Teach me your ways. What, you mean Adelaide's little congregation of nature-loving nobodies? I could not possibly be less interested in them. You, on the other hand, you were a sight to behold. If I had half your skills, I'd be the greatest outlaw the coast has ever seen.
Yeah.
Why? Adelaide wants me back on garden duty or something? Thanks, but I'm not going anywhere. This is where I belong.
Really? I just wiped out your...
I doubt that. Nobody in that camp really cared about me. Wait, you're telling me he's got a copy of the Mass Marketeer? Why didn't you say so?
I just did.
I'll take my stuff and head on back, I
you go.
suppose. Grace is gonna be glaring knives at me, so I've got that to look forward to.
Oh. Oh. Took care of that. Oh. And all that, we've taken care of that. Like I said, RPGs, what's the one thing you gotta do? I remember. There's one. Yeah. A grenade. Anything else? No, no, no. We're done. Alright. I remember watching a playthrough of this one time, and ow. Yeah, that was brilliant, now, wasn't it? Just because you're on God mode doesn't mean you can't be susceptible to everything else. Alright.
That's the last of them.
Brilliant. Not really. Should have gone with my short stuff, but oh well. And then target fixation. Gotta love it. Alright, so we need to go back to the community center. Because, yeah, we did forget. Let's take care of that. Because thinking ahead sometimes does not work out in my favor. There we go. Plus, we gotta pick up all the stuff that we can sell. Scrappy little guys. Alright. The Repidon hit an enemy. And behavior. Let's see. They spit at you? They snarl at you? Alright. So, let's see. Lesson. Return to Grace. Well, let's take care of this. Because it's right there. We go by the road this time. Did I miss something? Nope, not really. Oh well. that, animals actually needed for Westlake.
I always wanted to poke around in here. Here we go! Everyone all right?
That's all well and good, but I think there's more over there. Still with me? Maybe. Any more clams? Yeah, I know. Everybody's going, you can't use Lord Clanker. Yeah, I can. If it's good enough for it. For the clones, it's good enough for us. Just gonna get there on top of the monument. Another animation. There's some more stuff. Let's see. Anything worth buying? Not really. Why is the Funtime barrel? I mean, seriously, guys. Alright, so. Enough of these. Actually, one of our companions. 'Cause that's a specialty. Alright. Okay.
It's not the best choice. It's Spacer's choice.
Alright, so that's all that. 2 corporate commanders later. And if I know my ideal way to do business, never go in the front way. Seriously, you don't. Oh, and there's one other thing. We won't be having the men's group today. The software that I use to help with the video is not,
The control
as
room
you
should
can
be
see
ahead
also,
somewhere and attached to
it's
the right.
not working properly.
I hope we're doing the right
So-
thing.
There we go. Shocking. Come on, I hit the button. The button. Ugh. From Spacer's Choice. Wow. Even in the future, he can't get away from layoffs. Oh, that's nice. Right. That's taken care of. Tomb Raider 2 in this mess. And it's like all the ancient Egyptians laying out all these items for Lara Croft to pick up in all these tombs. Funny how that worked out. Alright. I think we're gonna run into that guy. What makes you think I'm not? No? They, robots kind of went on a takeover spree, I see. There's that. I thought I saw somebody over here.
Incoming! Wow, not even a scratch!
That's good. Unlike these poor souls. So you should go. No, we'll go this way. Hmm. So we see who the problem is. Don't we? Disoblige. You took it, sir. Sorry, well. Got a bit, I'll let them duke it out. Oh, just one. Okay. That makes life a little bit easier.
No, 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 just leave me alone.
I think we found our man.
Get away
we need to talk to you, sir.
Get away! You're not real. You're not real. Get away from me, Phantom. Shoot! Scram!
Well, considering I just had a weight of nausea, I think I'm real.
Most people? But I'm the only one left. No. Remember your first rule, Higgins. No arguing with the Phantoms. See? See, Higgins? This is why you must always boil your sprats before ingesting.
Okay.
Of course. Do excuse me. I experience brief flashes of mania during which I am visited by the phantoms of my imagination. Chester D. Higgins. The D stands for definitely not insane. I use it as a reminder. Oh, Higgins has been many things over the years. Sprat
third
Wrangler,
person.
Saltuna Critic, Aetherwave Personality, Chairman of the Board, Galactic Defender, Sisty Pig Tycoon. I've come a long way for someone who started off as a simple engineer right here in this plant. I specialized in automechanicals, drones, sentries, repaired them, maintained, upgraded, did it all from my old workroom just over in the next section. Look, I don't want to fall into any trouble with the mechanicals. If they wise up to our plans, they will come for us. With prodding irons.
Well, explains two people.
You know, you remind me of myself back when I was an intergalactic adventurer. I discovered a flaw. Their hostility levels were hardwired to maximum. There's no changing that, but you could rewrite their targeting protocol so they attack each other instead.
Well, we did that already.
Yes, that's exactly it. I see you're also versed in the noble art of mechanical engineering. There's a behavior control terminal in the other room. It should have options to change how the mechanicals act, including whom they shoot at.
Oh, we just did that.
Oh, that reminds me. You'll need my passcode to access the behavior control terminal. Here, let me just write it down for you. Funny thing, I was working on a logic module just before the mayhem started. Security chief found me and confiscated the logic module.
Okay. Wow, after all that. Fun fight. Now let's see. We'll worry about that later.
Nicely done.
Two. Let's see if the yeah.
Security in.
Here we go.
Mind the steam. You're liable to get scalded.
Wow. Didn't know that. They can do that too. Hey, you never know. Ooh, yes. Or was he mad? Can never tell sometimes. Alright. That's two. And that's the end of that. Taken care of. One logic module. And now.
Once we do this, there's no going back.
Nope.
Hey, mister? Look, I know you want your power regulator and all, but I just gotta ask you. Do you understand what you're about to do? I don't think you should cut off Edgewater's power. I think it would be cruel. I'm sorry. That just sort of came out all at
No,
once.
it's okay.
Edgewater's hurting. We've been losing workers year after year, and corporate hardly ever sends replacements. There's barely enough Saltuna to fill our bellies anymore. But the town's got some good people in it. Decent, hard-working folk just living their lives the only way they know how. They don't deserve to be punished. Sorry, I didn't mean to babble
No,
on
it's
like
okay.
that. I felt like I had to say something. Really? I mean, wow. Thanks. No one's ever told me those words in that order.
All right. Now, to get really slapped by an Adelaide. Oh, wait a minute. I don't think I can remember how, well,
It's not the best choice. It's Space's It's not the best choice. It's Space's choice.
now I'm gonna save it here so that I don't screw this up. Worry about that later. Right now, do a couple of things. See, I think I need to go here first, go back to Reed Thompson, then come back here. I think that's how it's done. If not, we do it the next way. Alright, so.
Everybody keeps staring at me. It's not my fault the power's dead.
No, it isn't, kid.
No kidding. Really? Well, which one?
We'll start with that one.
Look at that. Building a computing machine out of Spectrum potatoes, a primer. I'm just glad it survived all these years. 2 whole data pads? Be still my beating heart. Oh, almost forgot your payment. Well, don't keep me in suspense. The geothermal plant? Now that is just incredible. You really went exploring down there? Adelaide always told us it was swarming with hostile mechanicals. That's a complete set. All
that.
3 parts. I'm gonna be the greatest engineer Halcyon's ever seen.
There we go.
Aside from you, Ms. Parvati, I swear, I'll do you proud.
I'm glad we could help, Thomas.
I've been saving something for you. Just a little contraption I found. Should fit right into your outfit.
Marauders can't see us in the dark. Wild Canids, on the other hand. We didn't always get along, but I'm glad to know she's safe. What happened, anyway? Zoe joined up with a band of marauders. Zoe. The same Zoe who doesn't know a barrel from a trigger. Well, I've heard stranger things. You pretty
Sounds like
much
a
did
good,
my job for
TV
me.
series up until a certain
Least
point.
I could do is pay you for your trouble. Let me know if I can do something for you.
All right. So let's save it here. Like I said, it's like I got that taken care of. Save complete. So
That's the thing about growing old. Your eyes start to fail. Elsewise, I would have seen you for the snake that you are, chopped you into pieces and roasted you on a spit. This is all you're doing. I want to ask you this in private, away from the eyes of my flock, so they do not see me lose my temper. Tell me, why did you do it? You want my flock? Go talk to Grace and you tell Reed to... You offering to cross Reed off, huh? This some sort of twisted reparation for what you've done? Or kill Reed if you must. Tell Reed that I can make his people healthy again. I can end their plague. Start a new garden right in the cannery. 3 square meals for every man and woman in Edgewater. Tell him how I've made the Vale bloom again. The soil has whispered its secrets to me, and I alone know how to breathe life back into the earth.
okay,
The secret is human corpses. I've been grinding them up in my fertilizer for years. Marauder, worker, don't matter much to me. The human body is rich with nutrients.
Yeah.
I have got a means to cure the plague, and I will not share that cure until Reed leaves town.
But you just did.
Those are my terms. My son worked in that cannery. When the plague started coming, he was one of the first to fall sick.
That explains
We
it.
had a store of medicine locked away, but Reed refused to treat him. Said my boy didn't deserve treatment. Said the medicine would have been wasted on him. So I buried my boy in the cemetery, gathered my belongings, and left.
Okay.
That's as much of the story as you need to hear.
That's all I need. So, with that, the town of Edgewater. Oh, that's right. We have a few other people we have to take care of.
I've got some time.
Good.
Thanks. I'll see to it that this medicine gets to the people who need it. Here, something for your trouble. Nothing personal, but I hope we never do business together again. Don't want to make a habit of consorting with smuggler types. You do have some cheek on you. Lucky for you, I kept a little contingency fee in case you tried to negotiate with me. Somebody deserving. Silas on account of him being out in the cold. Amelia seeing how she's around people all the time. Anybody in the sick room?
Makes sense. Alright, that's that.
Something to report?
Yes.
We pay by the finger. What do you have for me? Gil Antrim. Real name, Guillaume. Duly processed by a freelancer on behalf of Spacer's Choice. I remember him. Was just a kid last I saw him.
Shame.
I'll just need your signature here, 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 here,
Oh, and
And
it has
here.
to be in triplicate. Don't
Got any
don't
more
forget
fingers for
triplicate.
me?
Let's see.
Mabel Burgess. Age 37. Right or left-handed? Let's just say no longer applicable. I remember Doc Burgess. Conducted my physical every fiscal quarter. Guess she couldn't keep her hands off her patient's medicine. Still one outstanding bounty. If you've got a finger, I've got the paperwork. Here we are. Bertie Cotton. Cause of death. Let's just say overwhelming physical trauma.
Oh.
Bert was the local preacher before Max took over. Always was quick to remind us that we all get what we deserve in the end. Well, that's all three. I must remember to requisition some more fingerprint ink. Here's all the compensation you've
There we
earned,
go.
plus a bonus. You've done such a bang-up job hunting down our former workers that I thought it only proper to deputize you. Congratulations.
Thank you. Pelham's back.
Been eating nothing but salt tuna for a year.
Actually, you know what?
Hey, thanks for helping me back in that cave. You got a real knack for curative work.
All right. Now, let's save here as well. And come on.
This is a fine day, friend. Power flows through our town like a cool stream of water. I trust Adelaide's people have seen their way to reason. So, when can I expect them back at their posts? Then we are at an impasse. Stewardship over this town has been entrusted to me by Spacer's Choice. I am not perfect. I have made my share of mistakes. But I have done my best for this town. I am a Spacer's Choice man. My father was a Spacer's Choice man. Edgewater may not look like much to some buttoned-up freelancer, but it is my home. I don't believe you. Plague's a reality of life. Best treatment is a good work ethic. The very notion is just grotesque. A raw vegetable? Why don't you just ask me to go chew the bark off of a tree? We are a Spacer's Choice Saltuna cannery. We eat Saltuna here, and only Saltuna. I don't understand. You say Adelaide's growing her own food.
Yes.
But that should not be possible. The soil's gone sour. Company said as much. Our own botanists couldn't grow decent crops for us, so the company got rid of them and shut down the greenhouse. You'll excuse me for being skeptical. How exactly is Adelaide growing crops in barren soil? If Adelaide's found a way to feed her people and cure the plague, then she deserves this office more than I do.
Well, how
I won't
indigent
stand
you
in
are,
her way.
actually.
My life here is ended. Give me a little time to settle my affairs. I'm sure Adelaide will be glad to see the back of me. I do. Adelaide's found a cure for the plague, and she knows how to tend a crop. She's what this town needs.
Okay.
I have always tried to do right by my town. It has never been easy.
Okay.
A couple months ago, I might have put in for a transfer. It's a big colony. Spacer's Choice has other towns. Now, I couldn't show my face in any of them.
Really?
No such thing as an honorable resignation. Suppose I could find a place outside the walls, or put in for early retirement.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I could see myself lasting a week.
All right. That's taken care of. Back to the reason. Take care of this. Fast travel works so well. So nice. Come on. There you go.
Never seen the Vale lit up like this before. Bang up work, soldier. You're a credit to your uniform. Oh, that reminds me. Gotta look into getting us a uniform. So this is it then. The key to humanity's victory over the mechanical hordes.
Yay.
I would reward you with the gratitude of the Resistance, but I'm guessing you want something tactile. So here's a couple of bits for your trouble, and a little something to remember me by.
Excellent. And now, the last one. Head back to the lab. Ever-loving Adelaide. Sorry. You know the musical that comes from.
Look at that. The snake's come back.
Yes.
I never thought I'd see the day that Reed Thompson abandoned his post. Suppose we all have a breaking point. Suppose it's time our flock made our way back to Edgewater. We must tend to what remains of the town and carry on with our lives as best we may. You're vexing to me, you know? Injuring us with one hand, helping us with the other. Here, I'm giving you something to leave us be. It's a ransom, you understand, not a reward. You're telling me you did all this just to put me in charge of Edgewater? Stranger, you are some kind of twisted.
No.
I might turn that old cannery into a garden. Got ourselves a whole cemetery bursting with bodies. I need some time to gather my personals. Long walk back to Edgewater. Got a considerable burden to carry.
That does happen. And there's that. All right. To the unreliable.
Is this your ship? Oh my stars, she is just so handsome. Does she have a name yet? What's her drive model? Oh, gosh. Listen to me babbling. When I was in Edgewater, I dreamed of flying on a real ship, working on a real engine, belonging to a proper crew. I'm the only decent mechanic Edgewater's got, but every time I think of going back, I get this sinking feeling.
You shouldn't have that, madam.
Well, it's kind of you to say that. And you're right. I wasn't happy. I want to ask you something, and you can say no. But...
Oh, wait a minute.
come
We
with
gotta
you?
go max.
I could tend to your engine. I know my G-valves for my catalyzers, and I can keep your ship singing. And if you ever need a pair of eyes watching your back, I can do that too. What do you think? Yes! I mean, thanks. You won't regret this, mister. Captain. I can call you Captain now. Ha! I got a captain.
There we go. And you're ever popular. Pastor here, or mission commander, however you want to say it, forgets a few things.
If you're falling sick, I don't want you near.
Something
Let's
I
get the
can
vicar. To the vicar.
It's a fine new day in Edgewater. The cannery hums, streetlights and faces glow. I suppose this means the two of you were able to sort out the matter?
Mm-hmm.
I am somewhat taken aback by that. Given the heat between her and Mr. Thompson, what deal did you strike with her, I wonder? Wonderful. This is fantastic. Well worth all the sacrifices I... Wait. What the fuck is this? Is this...
Language,
French?
sir.
I can't fucking read French.
Language, sir.
It's a law-forsaken joke is what it is. French.
I speak some French, but...
I was so
Not
high
enough
and
to,
mighty,
probably.
preaching to the yokels about following the plan, while fighting it at every turn.
I'm sorry, what?
Well, yes. But I assure you, it was not for personal gain, only for the greater good.
The greater good.
I've spent my life searching for the keys to unlocking the secrets of the universal equation that underlies the plan. I had hoped this book held some of those answers. I became so desperate, I even got myself assigned to this plague-ridden backwater to find the damn thing. All the
Hey,
time
language,
and
sir.
suffering I've spent. Wasted. Please. As if my life should have no greater meaning than proselytizing to a bunch of feeble-minded wretches. Nothing could be more excruciating than discussing the true nature of reality with people who have no interest beyond their next Aetherwave program. But that's neither here nor there. What I need to do now is to find a translator, obviously. But to do that, I'll first need to secure transport.
Lucky for you.
You have a ship. Perhaps I could make myself of use to your crew. Certainly. I already gave you most of my money, but I can offer you free spiritual counseling, and I'd be happy to watch your back. I'm pretty handy with a tossball stick, or any blunt instrument, really. I'm also a passable gun hand, if it comes to that. I can usually talk my way out of conflict, though. Oh, I'm fairly competent at hacking computers as well. Fantastic. I promise you won't regret this.
Edgewater's gonna miss you. Folk here always had good things to say about their vicar.
Thank you, Ms. Holcomb. I'll be glad for the change of scenery, and to leave this place behind. It is my esteemed pleasure to serve as your crew vicar, Captain.
Let's all look the same, shall we? There we go. Now I'm gonna have to cut this whole thing short. Starting to feel a little under the weather. I don't know why.
Captain, I have detected that Edgewater's power supply is now optimal. I applaud your willingness to invest your time in the local community. What can I do for you, Captain?
All right.
All systems are operating within acceptable
There we go.
parameters. I am prepared to bring the unreliable into low-altitude orbit. This should prove an adequate test of our flight capabilities.
All right.
We have received a communication request from Dr. Phineas Wells.
Aha, there you are. Hale and hearty, and captain of your own ship. I see you're putting the unreliable to good use. Shame about her former captain. Horrible way to die. How are you feeling, by the way? I lost track of you in that cave back there. Experiencing any unnatural drippage? Perfectly normal side effect of thawing, I assure you. Oh, that, yes, that's probably permanent. I wouldn't worry about it, though. I'm sure you're fine.
Yay.
What you saw in Emerald Vale is happening all across the colony. Food shortages, lack of supplies, and basic necessities. We're dying. The chairman, the minister, and all their lackeys on the board are to blame. The Hope has some of the brightest minds Earth ever sent us. If we can revive the Hope's colonists, they can help us undo the board's mistakes. They can help us set things right. You need to get to Stellar Bay on Monarch. I have contacts there. They'll help me, help us, find the chemicals to revive your fellow colonists. Gladys Kilkelly, lovely woman, runs a cozy little black marketing outfit on the Groundbreaker. She can get you a nav key to land on Stellar Bay. Strictly speaking, Monarch is a moon, terraformed badly, and almost completely lawless. You'll love it. Captains don't fly their own ships, you see. Your navigation terminal handles the, navigation. Think of a nav key as a set of flight instructions.
Okay.
The board's been confiscating nav keys for Stellar Bay, so we must rely on unconventional means of acquisition. Hence, Miss Gladys Kilkelly.
Okay.
Excellent. I'll send her a wireless. Let her know you're coming. By the way, I gave Captain Hawthorne a disguise apparatus of my own design, cutting-edge technology, years ahead of its time.
That's always good.
I call it the Holographic Shroud. I'm sure it will prove remarkably useful to you. You'll find it in the captain's quarters.
Excellent.
Excellent. I'll contact you once you've found a way to get to Stellar Bay. If you have any questions, come see me in my lab.
Okay.
And remember, don't trust the board. They'll try to win you over with promises of wealth and power, but it's a lie. The board's only interested in filling their own pockets. If we don't put a stop to them, they're going to run this colony to the ground.
Transmission ended. If you are ready to depart, please select a destination on your navigation terminal.
Okay. Well, first, let's go take a look at this. Holographic Shroud. Okay. That's easy enough.
Make yourself at home, Captain.
I will. But now let's get over to the Groundbreaker, and we will stop right there for today. One Groundbreaker.
We've arrived. Arrived at the Groundbreaker.
That's a beautiful ship. There we go. Alright, well, that will do us for today. Save the game, because we've fixed all that. And we'll go from there. So thank you for joining us. Hopefully I'm feeling a lot better than last time. But next week is going to be Asai taking over the duties here. I just filling in for this time because he's just recovering from his trip and from his family emergency. So we want to give him all the best. Prayers out to him. Prayers out to all of you. And we'll see you next week.